parallel frequencies with Just Blane and Hooded Coco over there. I just looked up and saw the new look. What's going on over there, Coco?
I'm in my goblin phase.
I know
every goddess needs a goblin face. Where
Okay,
you're just like in your hoodie and PJs for a day and you don't do your hair.
This is the weekend. We're at the weekend here. It's Feature Friday. So is this the goblin?
Yeah, I'm getting ready for my weekend.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, I'm not going to leave the house for 48 hours straight. And that's my weekend.
That's it. Well, you know what? I usually do that. But this week it'll probably be a little different because, as I mentioned earlier in the week, it's me and Lindsay's anniversary. So we're going to have to celebrate some anniversary this weekend. I mean, we may do it by just staying in the house. Who knows? I know a gift. If she hasn't gotten me a gift yet, I saw Costco had something that I was interested in. And the internet has been super interested in it as well. Costco's selling a 55-gallon drum of maple syrup for $2,500. Now, is that a good deal or a bad deal? I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
That's a good debate to think about. I mean, it must be pretty quality maple syrup because that's what I worry about with maple syrup is I'm like, how much of this is just plastic that they put in and it's amber colored, you know? But like, is it good quality maple syrup? That's my question. Are you paying that much for a ton of really good maple syrup?
Does maple syrup go bad? Does it expire?
No. It's not like honey, but I'm sure it goes bad eventually, but maybe not super fast.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out if this is a good investment or not. Costco's had some bangers over the years. They sold a gold brick at one point. I mean, that thing's worth more than it was then now. Yeah, so I'm wondering.
Investment for sure.
Yeah, is this 55-gallon drum of maple syrup, is this a good investment? Like, should we quit what we're doing and get us one of these and open up a pancake shop or something, or what?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but if it was at my house, barrel that big, maybe it would last a couple months and that's it. So I'm going to say not a good investment in a house full of 3 boys who go through that stuff like nothing.
Just drinking it, just don't have cups of it.
They just drink it. They just drink it straight out of the bottle every time we have pancakes and waffles out.
Well, we're on our 7-year anniversary, and I know it's not the anniversary of maple syrup. I think it's like copper and something, but is that close enough?
Yeah, it's kind of copper colored, right? So you might be able to get away with that. Just copper, though. Just get copper. That's a great gift. Copper is extremely powerful as a mineral.
So I should just give her a chunk of copper.
Yeah.
For her gift. Yeah?
That's what I think.
Cheap plug. We can go down to Rising Moon Minerals right here with Jamie Hotbar.
I was just thinking that. I know she's got a whole shelf of copper because I bought some myself there. And it intensifies whatever energy is around. So like you can partner it with other crystals and other things and it just amplifies.
I like that idea. You just gave me a great idea though. I think that might be the gift. Just a lump of copper. Here you go. What better?
Happy 7th. I won't tell.
They say there's something called a 7-year itch.
Yeah.
I don't know what that even is, but I've heard it. What is it? What happens with a 7-year itch?
I was like, I know. So we've had theories about this, actually. We've had conversations in our family about this. And I have to say, there's probably something to it. I think what happens, and you are totally going to get this, is around 7 years in a marriage is when you have a lot of little kids. You usually have started your family, but they're still little. They're all really little. And that demands a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot to those little drunk midgets that live in your house. Ooh. They're all in there like just running around, bumping into walls and things. And what happens is you just really can't focus on each other as much. So, I mean, some people that means wandering eyes. I don't know. But for the most part, it just kind of means like you have to recommit to the marriage a little bit. You have to be like, look, things are hard right now. we don't have a lot of time for each other. We have putting a lot of energy into these little munchkins. So we're just going to have to recommit to each other. It's a good time for that.
I did not know that. I will take that into consideration now and make
my theory.
I'll make that more of a front of mind. Like, keep that in my head and be like, you know what? If it's hard right now, maybe this is why. Let's figure this thing out. So I'm pretty open. When it comes to that. I don't shut down like I probably did in the past. But yeah, I think
you got to face it.
Great.
Got to face it head on.
Didn't know. I had no idea with the 7-year itch that I keep hearing people talk about.
Yeah, it's usually when couples cheat on each other is what I've heard, is what the itch is about. It's like I'm itching to look elsewhere. But I think that every couple goes through, you know, whether it's 7 years or 10 years or 12 years. I mean, like, there's ups and downs throughout a marriage. That's just the way it is. Take it from someone who's married 21 years.
There you go. You've had 3 7-year itches. Is that how that works? That's my math working out. That's right? Correct. Yeah.
We are on our 3rd marriage to the same people.
To the same people. Okay.
That's what we like to say. We're like, I think we started a new marriage here. This feels different than it did the past 7 years. We're starting a new one and we recommit and it's great.
I think those people out there that were the cheating 7-year itch, I think they call it 7-year itch for another reason. I don't think I think it's something they might have acquired in the cheating.
Like medically.
Let's get out of this talk and get to Feature Friday and talk about actually something scarier than all of this. It's a horror movie that didn't need jump scares to live in your bones. The Black Phone 1 and the Black Phone 2, we're going to do these as both together because why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like a continuation. They just, one ended and the next one began. And that's how it's going to go.
That's how I watched them too. I didn't watch these when they came out. I heard about it. I was like, whatever. I don't know. Something didn't appeal to me to watch it. And then I finally did, and it was back to back. And can we just start with why did a disconnected rotary phone feel more terrifying than any CGI demon we've seen in the last decade? This was scarier to me than watching some of the stuff in The Conjuring that we've seen. That phone, you could feel it, like terror. Like you're like, is it going to ring? What's going to happen? There's something that hits different too about analog horror.
Mm-hmm.
And this is that, you know, it's not Wi-Fi, apps. It's just a wall, a cord, and a kid alone in a room. It's that kid, he can't get out of it. What'd you feel there? What'd you think?
Well, this is where I have to disagree. Maybe this is where our parallel frequencies diverge just a little bit in the opinions here. I think the Black Phone is the safety in this movie. I felt more comfort when the phone rang than I did terror, because when you start hearing the grabber's voice or his laughter or something like that, that's when you start to kind of like freeze up, like he's coming. But when the Black Phone rings, that's where it's like, I'm going to get some help. My guides are here. My guides are here to take care of me. They're going to show me the way. They're going to give me ideas. They're here to help me, right? So I think there could be a lot of different ways to look at it as far as a horror film goes and paranormal activity.
I like that. That's why we got different frequencies, like you said. That's why we're doing this, because I looked at it, but you know what? Maybe I'm thinking about it as in we don't know what it is yet. And as Black Phone goes along, we do find out that what this is like a bridge to the afterlife. Like they're giving, ghosts are basically giving info on how to beat this grabber. That's what it breaks down to, real basic.
Yeah.
Am I right
there?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ghosts of the boys that we can presume as this movie is taking place, as the plot thickens and we get into it, we're like, okay, so probably they're dead. We're probably talking to their ghosts. We got that part. So the Black Phone becomes this portal, this way for him to be able to communicate with them, to listen to them. Finn is communicating with them. Finn is, by the way, clairaudient, or that's what's coming up in this movie is that he's not seeing them. It's when the phone rings and he picks it up and he can hear their voices. So clairaudient is the extra special sixth sense Clara gift that he has. So he's able to listen to these ghosts and yeah, they have retained at least enough of their egoic body memories to be able to give him just enough information to help him, which I think is fascinating because they really do a great job of kind of showing how a spirit or entity who leaves their body doesn't necessarily have that same memory or connection to the body and life that they lived as they once did. So he's like, "What's your name?" And they're like, "I don't know. There's no baseball here." I loved that line. They're like, "I don't know who I am. I don't remember that part. That's not important. I remember this. There's a wire hidden, or there's a numbers scratched into the wall. These are helpful to you. I've retained that much to give you." Right?
I didn't recognize that it's just like that. That's incredible. Let's talk about Ethan Hawke as the grabber.
Yeah.
He wasn't a movie villain as much as he was urban legend energy. That was the your older cousin swears this happened in his own neighborhood type of energy. Like he brought that to the screen. The mask itself deserves its own segment.
Right.
Like that mask felt like it had layers of personality. It really did. He starts pulling off pieces of it for different looks, each one more terrifying than the last. It's like a mood ring for a sociopath. Like that's what he's doing. He's got this thing and it's talking about how he feels. I thought that was incredible. That the mask itself was so iconic, maybe. And that's we throw that word out a lot, but I think it is. I think this mask is super iconic at this point.
Oh, yeah. And you can see how important the mask is to him. I mean, it's a really great psychological kind of thriller because I can only imagine that the analysis that professionals are doing when they look at this character that Ethan Hawke is playing and kind of trying to figure out, well, what is his game here? What is he trying to get? What is his whole thing? This like, I like to play. I like to manipulate. I like to, tease and this naughty boy game thing that's going on. I mean, there's so many layers to that, but the mask almost seems like a part of the game, and you see how important it is to him that it's some part of his face covered at all times. I recognized in the second one, there was a point when the grabber was being pulled into the ice and he has been unmasked, but he grabs it and puts it back on as he's being dragged to hell, essentially. I'm like, that mask must have been pretty important to him for him to take the time to be like, I got to put it back on.
Maybe we'll get a prequel of where the mask came from. Maybe like a full-blown.
Like that.
Yeah.
We'd like to know.
The real hero of part one was the sister. So I want you to talk about her because she had psychic antenna. I don't know what the phrasing better would be, but you would probably tell us. She was like the emotional compass in the heart of the whole story. But what was that? What did she have that?
Well, it seemed like all of her channeling was coming through mostly in dreams and premonitions, and it reminded me of these psychic studies that the government was doing, trying to use psychic abilities to monitor, to spy on, to do what do they call it? I'm totally forgetting. Remote viewing, where they can be in one place. So they were trying to kind of use psychic abilities that people had to spy on Russia or something. I'm not sure. But when they were doing the experiments, they got a woman who was just a friend of one of the researchers, and they asked her to come and be the control person in the experiment. So she would do remote viewing also, and the psychic would do the remote viewing, and they would send a third person out to be in a location, and both of them would have to try to channel visions or dreams or try to visualize where they were and describe where the person was, what it looked like, things like that. And it turned out that the control person, the woman that they just plucked out of nowhere on the street, was correct more than the psychic.
Yeah.
And that to me felt like Gwen in this movie, because she's kind of like the underdog hero. She's like, nobody expected her to be important or to have things to help out with, but then they start noticing she's got details nobody else told. She's, able to give information that's very, very specific, and it's up to her to start trusting herself and her abilities, and to actually say, no, actually, these are not dreams. These are real. This is, I believe that I have a gift. I believe what I'm seeing is real, which is hard to do when you have an abusive father who doesn't want you to be doing that. Not my favorite part of the movies is to show like the difficulties these children were living in.
That's hard to watch. That was the hardest part of the whole thing to watch to me, was the abuse. And I think that's it's on purpose. It's by design for the creator of the film and to get that across. But
yeah, she had to fight for it, really. Like, it shows just how much she had to fight for her abilities and for her trusting herself.
I think that's why the whole movie works. And I think that's showing you the whole movie in that scene where there is abuse. But because this whole thing is not about gore, it's about resilience. Just like the kids calling in on the phone, like you said, they're being resilient. They're helping with what they can. They're giving the information as they can. And I think that was where maybe you've changed my mind, and the phone isn't. Maybe the rotary phone itself isn't a horror device, but more of a community. Look at that.
A portal, a message system, a tool, something that represents you're not alone, and that we have others here to help you be resilient, to help you get through this. Which then goes into, to your point, the black phone does become something of a terror in the second movie, because Finney is sort of traumatized. So he's been through something really incredibly traumatizing for any kid, even a supernatural experiencing kid. But he's not just going to get messages now from these innocent ghosts and these guides and these spirits, but now he's maybe going to get potentially talking to the grabber himself in the second movie, which is pretty terrifying.
I want to jump in on this real quick. Remote viewing, that was the Stargate project.
Right.
That's what it was called. We should do an episode about that, but I'm just afraid that would probably be the last one we ever did, because we disappear. So the Stargate project, back CIA ops and all that stuff.
Well, if we disappear, then everybody will know why.
They'll know. They know why. We'll be talking about the Stargate project. But you're right. And part 2, as sequels are, it was tricky. You never know what to do, because you could either expand the mythology or you collapse under your own lore that you're trying to build. So in this, what was the move? And I think they nailed it, because they didn't really give away all the answers still, but you still got to dig deeper into what this really is, and it's still terrifying. So I think that people, if you wanted bigger for part 2, sure, it was bigger, but it was also deeper.
Yes.
Than part 1. I really didn't get hooked into Black Phone as a whole. How about this? I didn't care about movie 1 until 15 minutes into movie 2. And I'm like, oh, you know what? You're like, I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe I should have paid more attention in the first movie. Not that it was bad, but they really started weaving it together a little more for me, to where I started caring more. But yeah, I think that was a big thing too. And I wonder if anybody else felt like that.
Yeah, other than the storyline where they have this trauma about their mother's passing, and that is revealed in the second movie a little bit deeper and with a different storyline than you see in the first movie. Because the first movie, we leave it with, we assume she couldn't handle the visions and the dreams and the things like that, and she was probably going through mental health issues and ended her life. And it's really tragic and it's sad for the kids and all of that. But in the second, we learn what really happened. And other than that storyline coming into play in the second movie, it's almost like you could watch the second movie first and then watch the first movie as a prequel.
They also have that great horror trope that I love in Black Phone 2, and that's the isolation. They get snowed in. They're trapped. They can't go nowhere. So it makes it even that much more terrifying. The fact that the grabber is popping up whenever he wants is even scarier and just kind of disappearing. It's like, man, we can't get away from this guy, and he trapped us up here to do this. So it's layers upon layers upon layers, just like the grabber himself. That's what the movie's doing. So you're sitting there as a viewer and you're like, wait, am I more concerned that the grabber's out there? Or am I more concerned that we're snowed in and we may have to eat each other at some point? So it's like, what are we doing? Like, what's the most terrifying thing here? But I love that giving you different layers of the horror itself within the movie. And I felt that was really, really cool. It was really cool to see.
Yeah. I know how much you love that aspect of movies. And even in this movie with, so glad to see that the dad somewhat redeems himself, gotten sober. He's kind of trying to make amends for the abuse you saw in the first movie. Although now you see Finney sort of going through a substance abuse similar pattern where, the sister is like, what are you doing? Like, this is just exactly what dad did. We're all just trying to cover up or avoid our trauma, our grief, our feelings, when we really just need to face it. And this is why Gwen, to me, again, just like the first movie, is the hero, because she's the one who's got the head on her shoulders to be like, look, this is terrifying. I'm the one being thrown around in the kitchen about to be burned by an imaginary ghost in my sleep, but I'm willing to stay here and face it and do the thing that's hard. And I'm not drinking or smoking to avoid it. Like, I'm facing it. I'm doing the right thing, and I got to do the right thing by these boys. I can't leave them hanging. I got to do the right thing. Most ethical, paranormal people, mediums, psychics, if they truly have the gift, they're going to do what it takes to do the right thing. They're going to use their gifts for good. They're going to use their gifts to help the people who've passed or the people who are still living to face that grief and to hopefully find comfort in what the messages that come through are. So I love Gwen. Obviously, being called a witchy girl in the beginning of the movie, I was very akin to her. She had a stack of books on the table. She's doing research on dream interpretations and woo-woo type things. And I was like, that's my girl. If anybody saw my library downstairs right now, those are the same books they would see in my house.
And Gwen, that's Gwen, played by Madeline McGraw. I haven't seen her in anything else that I could remember. I'm sure she's been in some stuff, but Jeremy Davies, let's make sure we call him out, because that was the dad. And like you said, he got to redeem himself. And Black Phone 1, when he has that abuse scene, he was off my list of being so high up, because I loved him from Lost. But he played that scene so well that I was like, oh my God, this is...
It's disturbing, for sure.
Yeah, but I'm glad he redeemed himself, but not that he really had to. Jeremy Davies, great actor, alongside with Ethan Hawke and everybody else in this. But yeah, it's one of those things too, like the psychological evolution of what's going on in this movie made me care more about movie 1 as well. And I think that's something they tried, maybe did on purpose, but Finn's got it really hard. This kid, I mean, I didn't feel bad that he was smoking weed about his. I was like, this kid can be doing.
You can only have compassion, right? You can only be like, totally makes sense, buddy. I get it. No one can blame you.
I was thinking, man, he could be doing a whole lot worse than just doing that. Like, come on, lay off this kid. But the trauma that he's experienced at this point, and then just seeing the phone, hearing the phone ring again, like but he steps up. He steps up though. And I thought that was really cool. I also loved how the CGI was not really heavy, and it still followed the first film with the 70s film faded kind of look. If you were going back on a flashback, it felt dusty, real is what it felt like. And I love that they kept going with that. And this movie, both of them, I love it. I think it's the new. This will get some controversy, but I think this is in line now with the Michael Myers and the Freddys and the Jasons. I think we got a new supervillain out there. I think the Grabber is in the lore now. There's going to be Black Phone 3, 4, 5, as many as they can make and make money. But yeah, I think they really will.
Yeah, the iconic, the black balloons and almost clown-like, magician vibe that he had going on in the first one to kind of lure kids in. I think that will go very nicely hand in hand with all of the images of Michael Myers and Freddy Krueger. And, you got all of those iconic horror movie.
Pennywise.
Right?
Dead on. Red balloon,
something
black
a little
balloon.
Creepy about those kids' entertainment people. We all know it. We all can sense it.
You got to stay away from those damn clowns. That's about all you could say for sure, is stay away from clowns.
Yeah, balloons have a whole different effect on me now, too. After this movie and it, when I was a kid, that they all float. Georgie, they all float.
So, speaking of that, do you think that this movie tapped into that childhood vulnerability? Is that what the real fear is? Are they tapping it? Like It and all those other shows, is that what Black Phone 1 and 2 did? Is it tapping into that?
I think for sure. I mean, especially because more so the first film was more terrifying to be a human kidnapper. Like, to set aside all the paranormal parts of the movie and just say, this is a guy who kidnaps young boys, tortures them, and then kills them for fun, for sport. Yeah. He has a whole basement built for this. I mean, just putting that into perspective, this is the kind of stuff that they told us as kids to be so careful. Like, when you're walking home from school, don't talk to strangers, don't get into someone's van, don't do this, don't do that, because you were told. And I'm right in there with terrifying my own kids to be like, if somebody pulls up in their car, you run. I don't care what, just trying to really scare the bejeebas out of them so that they just know that's terrifying enough. Right. And if they're luring you with balloons and they look like they might be a child entertainer, that is red flags, red flags all over. Yeah.
First of all, a true child entertainer ain't doing nothing for free. So if they didn't get any money, you better get the hell away from them. But yeah, absolutely. And there's all kinds of resources out there for people to look into. Don't take our advice on how not to get kidnapped. Okay. We don't want that. I don't want that on me. You make sure you go look at the professionals. I really do think they got a great series, a great run of movies. And I hope they got more lined up for us. And I kind of want to know if the freaks out there want to see more Black Phone. If there's a scene in either one of these movies that stuck with you, which one was it? Because I think a lot of us could be triggered by a lot of different things in these movies. So I'd love to hear some of that. Mm-hmm. You got any final thoughts on this before we wrap this thing up, Coco?
Oh, yes. Okay, final thoughts. First of all, I want to know what the freaks out there think about Billy the Paperboy's hair.
Oh.
I just want to know, because it was in both movies. They had to show that flashback of him getting the papers, and I was like, this boy has incredible hair. What is that? Whew, that coif. So I want to know what you think. But my final thoughts is in the second movie, I really love the kind of play with religion versus spirituality, because Gwen, obviously a very spiritual person, she asked for Jesus's help the entire time her brother was missing in the first movie. And in the second movie, that still comes into play because she believes that Jesus helped her, and she believes that the dreams come from Jesus, and she believes that there is some otherworldly higher power force that helps make it right when someone's in trouble or needs help. And so you see her as a very spiritual person. And then you see how Barb, a very Christian woman, sees her. And from her lens, from her perspective, this witchy little girl is possessed by the devil. This little devil child, she's the cause of everything. Yep. If it wasn't, for her, none of this would happen. Like she sees her as possessed when she sees her flying across the room rather than being tortured or like something is inflicting this on her. So I want to just put it out there to people who have that certain religious lens that maybe things aren't happening the way you think it is. Maybe the witches are not the ones to blame for evil in the world. That's what I have to say about that.
Could be paranormal serial killers on the loose. Could be something wilder. I like that. Yeah.
Maybe we're the ones who are helping. Maybe we are the ones that are spiritual enough to help the world when something like this is happening, as Gwen plays that part in this movie.
You gave us a lot to think about here going into this weekend, and I was pretty much hoping to do nothing, but now we're going to break our brains a little bit. But that's what we like to do here at Parallel Frequencies. We like to break brains. If it's ours, even better. But yeah, Just Blane and Coco, Parallel Frequencies. We'll see you on the other side.